Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. Just let me know if you can see me, hear me okay. I'm a bit like Tommy, aren't I? See me, feel me, hear me. Just let me know. A few people have left messages. DJ Reed is going to watch later. He's at work. John Horsfield's here. Hi John. Brad Hill, he's at work as well until after 9. So he's going to watch on the replay. Noah's here. Hi, Noah. Hi, Tony. I love the video on Hands Across the Water on George Harrison's Let It Roll. Thanks very much, Noah. I have an idea for the Harrison camp. He says, want to hear it? Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. Of course I do. Hi, Lynn. Hi, welcome. Neil Morrison is here from Aberdeen in Scotland. Ted's here. Hi, Ted. Glyn Fairby. Hi, welcome. Charles Duncan's here. David Green is here. Dr. Winston Boogie is here. Hi, Tone. How you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing good, thank you. DJ Rob as well. Yeah, I'm well. I'm very well, very well. Jim is here from Thailand. Andrew Brazier is here as well. Hi to you. Mr. Writer is here looking well. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, feeling well. Who else is here? Nick Syra. Hi, Nick. My mate Nick from Kansas City. Hi, Nick. Good to see you here. MBT here. It's Mrs. Beatley Tone. Hi from the train somewhere between London and Bath. Hiya. Ken Valentine. Any more news on the mono box sets? No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. You got one though, didn't you? I think did I remember rightly that you managed to get one? Mike Wall Jasper says hi, Tom. It's Tony, but hi anyway. Ray Higgins is here. Hi, Ray. Hi, Ray. Carl Sebastian is here as well. And hi, Carl. Nice to see you. No more news on the mono boxes. You know, I was just so pleased that so many people from my channel managed to get one, and that's really great. As I said on my last video, the one on the Sergeant Pepper video, I just did a little bit at the beginning of that. If you haven't seen it, about the mono boxes, and you know, I'm not sure if this is the end of the story for the mono boxes, because you know, I think that you know, some people are saying, oh, maybe they just came across some unused stock in the warehouse or something like that. But you know, I can't imagine that would happen. What is the scenario under which that happens? Does someone fall over, trip over their shoelaces, and while on the floor they say, oh, there's a great big pile of white boxes over there, we can sell them? I don't think that would have happened. And I think if it had been an unused stock, then there would be no need for the July rollout of this. They could just send them out now if it was an unused stock. So I don't think it was an unused stock. I just think that you know, I think that they might have been testing the water to see what the uptake would be, because these things are expensive to make, very expensive to make, and expensive to buy as well. And you know, they don't want to be left with a load of unsold stocks, and maybe they were just you know, just testing the water just to see, you know, what the interest was in this mono box set. And obviously the interest is very high because it sold out within hours. I think that there was you know, the news that was coming through was we're getting very mixed messages about how they were going to do it, and some were available on the Friday. And I think that is because, you know, I think people think, right, I'm getting this, and they put it in their basket, but they don't pay for it yet, and they have a little think about it. And there's probably a time limit in which, you know, you can put it in your basket and then pay for it, because you know, some became available again on Friday, on the Friday, and the people snap those up as well. And I think that obviously we don't know how long that time limit is, but once you put something in your basket, that is ticked off as a sold copy as far as the website goes, even if you haven't paid for it yet. And if you don't pay for it, then it goes back into the pot for someone else to buy. So I think they might have been just testing the water, and if they were, it's probably to test the water, the best place to do that is with your loyalist customers, people that have already subscribed to the Beatles.com's email notifications or bought something from the Beatles.com. So I think that's where they went first, and they gave this little 24-hour window for those people that got the email with the link. Had a 24-hour window to buy it, but obviously it didn't last for 24 hours at all. And some people were reporting that their clock wasn't ticking down, and there's all sorts of things. But it was the weirdest way of doing a announcement. I thought, they've never done anything like that before, and I hope they never do anything like it again. It was a real sort of a real misstep. The other misstep that they did was to allow customers in the US to buy 4 copies. In the UK, we were only allowed 1 copy. So that was playing into the hands of the flippers. And I watched a video by a guy called Steve Westman, who is a Canadian YouTuber, and he was talking about this box set, and he was saying that he had Miles' show on his show the week before, and he kind of hinted that this was going to happen because he said that Apple were not happy about people buying up Beatles products, difficult to find and sought after products. They weren't happy about people buying these and then flipping them for lots of money. So that is he was kind of hinting that there was going to be a reprinting of this box set, and so it came to pass. The only thing was, if they were that worried about flippers, then why allow 4 people to buy it in the US? Anyway, where am I? Okay. So Trevor says, "Hi Tony, will you be buying another mono box set?" No, I won't be buying one because I've got one. I only need one. I'm not going to sell it, so I don't need another one. So no, I'm not buying it. Ken just confirming that he got one. I thought you did. See, it was the Man United avatar that that I recognised. I remember having a couple of messages back and forth with you in the comments last week. My sister's here. Hi Mads. Hiya. Thanks for being here. We don't know. We will never know. I mean, I'm saying it wasn't unused stock. I'm saying this is a reprint. If it was unused stock, then they don't need to wait till July to roll it out. They can get it out now if it's just unused stock. So this is obviously being reprinted. How many they reprinted, we have no idea. I heard it was 1,000. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Nick says, so if not unused stock, why have they sold out? What do you mean? Well, I mean, I see what you mean. I do see what you mean. Well, if not unused stock, if it's not unused stock, they're reprinting them, but they've got a number of how many they're going to reprint. But what I'm saying is, I'm not sure if it's the end of the story. They obviously put a number on it, which we don't know how many it was. They put a number on it and they sold out, and that's it. So it doesn't have to be unused stock for it to sell out. It's just how many they're gonna print. But we'll see if there is another run. That's going to be the interesting thing, to see whether it's another run. Trevor says, I heard Paul's in Liverpool and got together with Bruce Springsteen at Lipper. Yeah, because Bruce is playing in Liverpool tonight. He's playing at Anfield, and I would imagine that Liverpool is going to be on stage with him. I know he went to Liverpool to do that thing at Lipper, but I'm pretty sure he will be on stage at Anfield either tonight or tomorrow night. I'm not sure how long Bruce is there, because I'm not really a fan of Bruce Springsteen, to be honest. Noah says, be on CD, vinyl, streaming. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the mono box. I don't think so. I don't. Well, it's already, the mono box is already on CD. It came out in 2009 on CD, and you can find it at various places, record stores, various sellers on eBay. I don't think they're going to do a streaming version of this, because they never have. They've had since 2009 to put this on a streaming platform. They've chosen not to do that, and so I don't think so. Andrew says there was a maximum order of 4 box sets per order on the US side. Yeah, there was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the UK, only 1 per person. Not sure about other territories. Ray said, I missed out on the mono vinyl, but managed to obtain the mono CD set, which sounds glorious. Is it worth getting upset because I missed out on the vinyl set, given the CD set sounds so fantastic? No, if you think that the CDs sound fantastic, then that is great. Then just stick with that. Personally, I think that the LPs sound a lot better than the CDs on my system. They do. There's no question of that. They just do. But I've got the CD set as well, and I bought the CD set so I could rip it and put it on my streaming devices and all that sort of stuff, and on my phone for the car and all that sort of stuff. But it does sound good. But the LP set does sound better, definitely. Right, Trevor says Springsteen arrived at Lipper but was ushered in through another entrance. Members of the E Street Band, Max Weinberg and Stephen Van Zandt, were also pictured arriving at the school. Okay, there was also today in Liverpool, I noticed on Facebook, there was an unveiling of a brand new Mal Evans painting that was being unveiled at the Liverpool Beatles Museum, which I think is the rogue best one, rather than the Beatles Story, which is also another Beatles museum that is in Liverpool. I noticed that was going on. I did wonder if he might have been going to turn up at that as well, but there was pictures of it being unveiled, and there was someone with a phone that was taking video, and they kind of went round all the people that were watching, and Paul wasn't there, so that didn't happen. Will the mono CD be reissued? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's still fairly easily obtainable at a reasonable price. The thing with the CD box set, and one of my subscribers, Ethel the Frog, who was my very first subscriber, actually, he messaged me and he said that he bought one on eBay that very day for about 40 quid, and I said I would have a think about that, because at 40 quid I'm going to say that is probably a fake one, because there are a lot of fakes of the CD box emanating out of Japan and China and just the Far East in general, and they're sold very cheap. They're sold very cheap, but they're not very good. I did do a video on the mono box set on CD some time ago, and kind of talked about the differences between a real one and a fake one. Not that I don't have a fake one, but just stuff that that people had said about the fake one. So he went and got his money back, and he's looking for a real one. But you should pay over 100 quid for the CD box set. So if it's ridiculously cheap, then clearly it's not a real one. It's not a real one. But if it's 100 quid plus, then it probably is. So you can find them. I don't know whether there's any plans to reissue the CD box set at the moment. in black. I was very happy to use a 10% discount for the mono box. Yes, I saw that. So if you just when the news came out, if you just went and subscribed to the Beatles.com's email notifications, you like for the first time, in other words, so you weren't subscribed before, you just went and did it on that day, you still got a 10% discount voucher. I think it was called Welcome 10 or something like that, that you could then, when you went and bought the mono box, you get 10% off. So that's 40 pounds in the UK, $50 in the US. Not to be sniffed at. No, I was just talking to Ian there. Oh, Chuck, sorry. Mac, hi Mac Drummer. 10 a.m. over here on the West Coast. Hope it's nice and sunny for you. And was heading out. Will hang around for as long as I can. Thanks for the heads up on the mono box set, mate. Can't talk anymore. Loose lips and ships. Yeah, absolutely, mate. John says the mono box should have been one copy per person in the USA like it was in the UK. Yes, it should. Trevor's still talking about Bruce Springsteen. We've already done that one. Martin McGrath is here. Hi, Martin. Hi, Tony. Do you think they missed a step leaving Alan Williams, Billy? He's always. You know what? You hang around with the invisible wanker too much because you become negative all the time. If you're negative, if you're negative and talking about missteps, when you become negative all the time, like he is, then his opinions mean nothing because they're always negative. If you see what I mean. But what are you saying? Do you think they missed a step leaving Alan Williams, Billy J, Tony Sheridan off Anthology? They were great on the Complete Beatles. A lot of people should have been heard from Pete Best also. Well, I don't know. I don't know. There's only so many. We don't know really who was interviewed for it. We only know what went out on TV, and I don't know. They could have been they could have been interviewed. I don't know. But I think Alan Williams would have added something. Maybe Tony Sheridan and Pete Best. I'm not sure Billy J Kramer would have added anything to it. Just my opinion, of course. That's another Greek. Carl JPGR, John Paul George Ringo. Hi Tone. Why can't they just issue the mono albums all separately on CD and vinyl as part of the core catalogue? They've obviously got a market. Yeah, they could do. I think that they did issue the mono albums. Individually when they did the 2014 box set. They were available individually. I don't think the CDs have ever been available singularly. But I don't see any reason why they shouldn't do that. Hi Joel, hope you're doing well. I am. I'm hoping for the individual albums being released. I only need 4. I can live without the box and the book. Okay, as we say, maybe that will happen. Zander says, hi Zander, do you think this set will be equal quality of the original set? Yeah, I don't see why not. It's just a straight reprint. No reason why it shouldn't be. I don't think. Andrew Brody says, stated the new box set will be on 180 gram vinyl as before. Yes, it will. Yes. Plum Silo. It's a fine balance. You don't want to make too many and have them hanging about in the stores and then being hugely discounted again. No, absolutely. I hope buyers will not. Hope buyers will not be sent 180 gram eco vinyl. Given the negativity around this new material. Okay. Michael Nolan, you need to fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Every time you come on a stream, you're just negative. You used to be a respected person in the vinyl community, and now you're just a troll. If that is in fact you. Right. Okay. Only for Germany, I think the floor limit in the US was during the pre-sale only. Okay. Oh no, the George Harrison idea. Oh, what is your George Harrison idea? I'm just kicking out Michael Nolan. I don't think it's him anyway, to be honest. Right, where was I? Where was I? I've lost my place now in the comments. Swift minus $1. I'm not sure what that means. David Jackson says, I just bought the Mono Masters album as I already have the individual albums on mono and the mono EP of Magical Mystery Tour. Jake says, hey Tone, quick question, is mono vinyl really mono if you're listening with a stereo cartridge stylus? No, it's not. It's the short answer. Someone asked me this in the comments. So yeah, no, if you know, mono is a thing of the past. I think that when people hanker after mono, they're after mono because of all the mistakes that were made in the stereo mixes. A lot of those mistakes don't exist in the monos. Things like John singing the wrong lyric in Please Please Me, or Paul's voice cracking in If I Fell. They don't exist on the monos, but they do on the stereos. There's also there's things that went wrong with the mono mixes as well, like that dreadful edit on Sgt. Pepper Reprise. But people basically want the monos, because they don't have that panning that the stereos have, that we're gradually eliminating with the remixes. That is why people kind of want the monos, but getting back to your question, when you play it on stereo, basically what happens is you get the same sound coming out of both speakers, so it kind of sounds as if the music is coming from the middle. But if you don't have a mono stylus or mono cartridge, then you're not really hearing it in true mono. And if you play it through two speakers, you're not really hearing it in true mono, but you're probably hearing it a lot better than true mono. That would probably be my assessment of it. Andrew says, never seen a genuine Beatles mono box set anywhere near £100. Seems to go for 200. Yeah, but this is like, so I'm talking about secondhand market. I'm talking about secondhand market, £100. They were, I can't remember what they were when they came out, but they were, I don't know, about £200 or something. I can't remember. But when I said £100, I'm talking about secondhand, and I'm talking about, I'm talking about £100 plus as an identifier about whether you're buying a real one or a fake one. We've done that one. Andrew Lane says, hi, do you think all the early Beatles albums have been remixed in stereo and just waiting for Apple to release them? I don't know. I'm not privy to that sort of information. I think that, Giles Martin doesn't just work for Apple. He does other stuff for other artists as well. So I don't know what the strains on his time are. So I don't really know the answer. I think probably Rubber Soul has been done already, but I'm not sure of anything beyond that. We don't really know, because obviously they did a mixture of tracks from those early albums for the Red Album remix. Now, would they have just picked off the tracks that they wanted to do to remix those, or would they have done, you know, the whole thing? I don't know. Pete says, I wait for an official release from the Beatles to get the CD box. Too many bootlegs. Well, you know, it is already been released, so I'm not expecting there to be a CD box reissue, but you never know. Ken says, just picked up a mint unopened black stereo vinyl box set for 300 quid. Will look, that's the stereo box, right? Will look great. It will, yeah. Yes, it's good. It's good. And Ollie is laughing at Man U, as the rest of the Premier League is. Only kidding, Ken. Right, Eric Wong says, first time joining in your live stream. Welcome, Eric. Greetings from Ontario, Canada. Nice to have you here, Eric. Thanks for joining. RMS says, any update on the mono box set repress? No, I think we're going to get this message quite a lot. Hi, Tone. I hope that you are doing well. I am, Jeff. Thank you. And I hope you are too, mate. Cranberry Sauces. Tone, last night I enjoyed your video on 2017 Sgt. Pepper's. I'll have to revisit it. Yeah, it's worth a revisit. Yeah, I was just reminded of it because it came up in my memories on Facebook, and the pictures that I posted back in 2017 when it arrived, of it looking all beautiful and pristine. And that reminded me that it was obviously its anniversary. And so I got it out, and I played the whole thing in one sitting. It was great. It was great. Glad you enjoyed the video. Eric says, I managed to secure my copy of the mono box set since I missed the first time. Well done, Eric. Enjoy it when it arrives. Glad you managed to get one. Eric says, watching in Nashville. Hi, Eric. Got my mono box pre-order. Thanks to you. Oh, that's great. That is great, Eric. As I say, I'm just so chuffed that so many people from my channel managed to get one after seeing the announcement video. I think like over 100 people, I reckon, got it from the channel, which was just great. Cranberry Sauce says, I especially appreciate how you compared the differences in the 2017 Sgt. Pepper to the Anthology outtakes. Yeah, because obviously we've had some of these songs before on Anthology, and it's good that they do sound much better. They do sound much better being remixed to how they were on the Anthology back in the 90s. But also they kind of they had a little bit of studio chat or false starts or something like that, either at the start or at the end, or so they make them a little bit different. And also we had those things where on Anthology they did these composite mixes where they took 2 or 3 mixes and sort of mashed them together to make out it was one take, where it wasn't. It was several. Well, they didn't make out that it was one take. They came clean about it. They told you in the sleeve notes that that's what they were doing, but they were what we called back in the day as outfakes, where they make a take, an outtake from several takes welded together. Jake says, thanks, Tony. You're welcome, my friend. Mike is here. Hiya, Mike. I'll be checked back in an hour at the record store right now. Glad for all the people who've got their mono box. I am still embarrassed about the US allowing 4 copies per customer. Well, it's nothing for you to be embarrassed about, Mike. It's for Apple to be embarrassed about it. It's it's one of those things. I've no idea why they did that. I suspect it was because they didn't want to be left with any unsold. But I think they would have managed that easily by just making it 1 per person. Vinyl box is still available. If you just have to trawl through various Universal Music international stores to find it. Italy, for example, you can still buy it there. Good information. Thanks for giving that information. Anyone who's still looking, go to Beatles.it or whatever it is. in Italy. See if you can find it. Right, Eric says, I wait for an official release from the Beatles. Tone, last night I enjoyed your video on 2017 Sgt. Pepper's. I especially appreciate how you compared the differences in the 2017 Sgt. Pepper to the Anthology outtakes. Yeah, because I want to have it. You're talking about Let It Roll. No, I'm still not sure what you're suggesting. What is it that you want released on CD, vinyl, and streaming? I'm not sure now. Let me know. David says the Stones box set is essential as it contains both the USA albums and the UK albums. Well, it's essential if you're a Stones fan of their mono albums. Personally, I don't need them, but for people that do, I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Martin says, "What's your favourite solo video? Coming Out or Crackerbox Palace Springs by?" Yeah, they're both great, aren't they? I also think this song is really good as well. It's very funny as well. I think Crackerbox Palace is a better song. I think maybe Coming Up is a better video. I hope that answers your question. Jim says, using a mono cartridge to play mono records is actually much better as they have built-in tendency to totally cancel out stereo surface noise, generally much more quiet. That's interesting, Jim. So I don't have a mono cartridge on my turntable. I have a moving coil cartridge on mine, which gives really good clarity of the vinyl. But I've never really heard it in mono, in true mono. But they do sound they sound really good. They do sound really good. Yeah, George Harrison's "Let It Roll" with no Beatles songs. Yeah, absolutely. Joe Mayo, he argued that those songs are the best of George Harrison, but they're not really. They're the best of the Beatles, really. But that's his argument for including them. There is really absolutely no excuse with George's catalogue to include any Beatles material on a George Harrison compilation. Was the original set from Anthology monotapes or the mono digital masters, and are they the same? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer. I think that they're mono. But I don't know. I mean, it was the age of the CD. Everything was digital by the mid '90s, or a lot of things were most things were digital. I don't know. Oh, sorry, you're talking about analog. Sorry. Was the original set from the analog monotapes? Yes, they were. It wasn't that the analog tapes then transferred to digital. It was straight from the analog monotapes. Sorry, I misread that. I thought you were referring to Anthology. Totally misread that. Ignore that. But I know what you mean now, and I hope that answers the question. Mine says, "What are your thoughts on tuning book?" I know you asked me this a lot. I think it's okay. I just think there's a lot of fluff in it. Stuff that we don't really need to know. I mean, Mark Lewison's thirst for research is unquenchable. His unquenchable thirst for detail and research is to be admired. But I don't want to know what colour socks Paul was wearing on the 20th of September 1960. Don't need to know that information. I just need to know the story and need to know the facts. So I'm not one of these people that are, I can't wait for volume 2, because I'm a bit about it. That's my thoughts. Hi James, nice to see you here. Billy says, Mike McCarthy is known as Deadbeat Dad. Yeah, I know. If he spent as much time taking care of his kids as he did trolling, then he might actually be a good for. Okay, all right. Maybe he knows that better than you. So leave Martin alone. Hi Tone, joining from Australia. Hiya, welcome to the show. Noah says a whole new George Harrison compilation. Yeah, look, I think we did this thing on Hands Across the Water. We because of time restraints, we had to nail it to a single CD, and we all took different approaches to that. But if it was me, right, if I was coming up with a George Harrison compilation, his career deserves the same treatment as John got with Gimme Some Truth and Paul got with Pure McCartney, like a 4 LP, 3 CD set, which could, then cover his entire career and cover every album in his, in his canon. At the moment, so I don't know if you've seen Joe's video. Joe had a go at doing this as well. And so Joe included 2 tracks from Extra Texture on there, and I think 1 from Gone Troppo as well. And that was because he was trying to cover every album in 1 CD. And my argument against that is that if you include the stuff from the lesser albums, then you're watering down the content. When you're looking at a compilation like Let Me Roll It, which is a best of rather than a greatest hits, so there's a distinct difference between the two, because one is mostly just the singles, the other is you got the liberty to add key album tracks as well, and I went for that sort of second option, a best of. So and I left off things like Got My Mind Set on You because it's a cover, and I left off My Sweet Lord because you can get it elsewhere. It's I just feel like I've been My Sweet Lorded to death. It's been around so long, and whenever the radio play a George Harrison song, they play that, and so I went from these are my favorite George Harrison solo songs that I want on my compilation, and that's how I did it. But if I had 4 LPs or 4 CDs to play with, then I would put I would put those songs on it, and I would put probably maybe 1 or 2 tracks from Extra Texture, 1 or 2 maybe from Gone Troppo. I mean, there was only 1 song on Let It Roll from the George Harrison self-titled album, which is a great album, and that was Blow Away that was on there. But I would probably put 3 or 4 from that particular album on there. So with John's, he got a career spanning retrospective, every song remixed. That would be perfect. Even on the Let It Roll issue that's coming out on vinyl in a few weeks, there's just going back to the mixes that were on the CD in 2009. So the tracks from All Things Must Pass and Living in the Material World would be the old mixes, not even the remixed version. So it's a bit of a step backwards as far as I'm concerned. I thought a very, very lazy release. I think Let Me Roll It as it is, and it could have been done so much better. But yeah, give me a 4 LP box set, everything remixed on it, and I'm in. James says, great podcast on Harrison's Hands Across the Water. Thank you. Big fan of Somewhere in England. Yeah, it's a much better album, I think, than people remember it as. I just talked about leaving off Got My Mind Set on You because it's a cover, and you don't really need covers on a George Harrison compilation, even though it was a massive hit. But 2 of my favorite tracks on Somewhere in England are the 2 Hoagie Carmichael songs that are in there on that, Hong Kong Blues and Baltimore Oriole. But there's other great tracks on there as well. Teardrops is a great track that should have been a hit. Obviously, all those years ago is on there. I can't remember the name of the second track now, but that's a really good one. Is it That's the Way It Goes, or is that on Gone Troppo? I can't remember now. But anyway, yeah, it is a good album. Alan says, hi, Tony. First time on your chat. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Fairly new to the channel and catching up on all your past videos. Great stuff. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Thank you. Glad you're part of the channel and glad you're enjoying the content here. So thanks very much, Alan. Cranberry Sauce says, on the mono pressing with stereo cartridge, surface noise is left in the right channels, music in the center. Mono cartridge, everything is in the center and music might hide. But yeah, I think you said that earlier, didn't you? I didn't know. Oh no, it was Jim that said it. I didn't know that it can hide surface noise. That's very clever, isn't it? It's very clever. James Martinez says, good night tonight is a nice video. I think that's a response to Martin. Jim Hines says you can also use 2 wire cables to get the same results from a stereo cartridge. Good to know. David Jackson says press is Paul's I think best video, though the song's not brilliant. A press with him on the tube. That video with him just on the tube singing. Imagine being a passenger on that tube when that was being filmed. That would have been weird. I saw this thing on Facebook today where a waitress told a story to her friends and family about Paul leaving a massive tip in a restaurant in New York the other day, and basically he left a little message on the bill or the check, as you call it in the States. He'd written a message saying, thank you for your great service and your beautiful smile, blah blah blah. The bill, the total for the food that he'd had came to about $50 or something. He left a $450 tip, and I don't know whether it's true or not, because I was thinking, well, I hope it's true. But I was just thinking, if it was true, then he probably wouldn't appreciate that going on Facebook. But there you go. JJ says, did you once say that a remastered anthology might be released? No, not remastered. Remixed is what I thought. Is what I think is happening. I don't know if it is, but there is definitely something happening with Anthology this year. Whether it is just the the buffing up of the TV show, maybe with extra material. I don't know. Maybe with extra material. It might just be that. And if it is just that, then maybe there is still time for one of the other albums to get a box set, i.e. Rubber Soul or something else. That is definitely feasible if it is just for TV and it's going to stream on Disney Plus. But if they are going to remix the albums as well and put those out again, then that will probably be this year's box set, or I don't know whether it will come out as a box set or it will be released individually. Obviously, originally they were all released over a period of about 9 months or something like that. Obviously, if it all comes out together, it's going to be pretty pricey, especially on vinyl, because each of those anthology albums is a triple vinyl. So that is a lot of money. That's, you're talking about 300 quid ish for all three of those in a box. Sebastian says, I really hope it's not a coming trend with these really limited releases. I pre-ordered the Material World box and didn't get it. Okay. And now the mono box set, they should get the numbers right. Yeah, you know, it's so easy. It's so easy for Apple to do the right kind of market research. I'm sorry you missed out on the Material World box. I know a few people that did. I think there were 5,000 of those. And I can understand it more for an album like Living in the Material World, because, you know, it's been out you know, it's been out a long time, and in many different formats. There's been a little CD box set that came out in 2006ish or something like that, and then it got a remastered version, I think, in 2017. Obviously, this is a remix out of the album with outtakes as well, and the material box set had both the CDs and the LPs in it, and the 45 of Sunshine Live for Me as well included in it. So it was a really good box set. I don't know why Universal Music or Apple can't do proper market research and know how many they need to print. But I'm sure you can find this on the secondary market, Sebastian. But obviously at an inflated price, of course. But it would be so simple. You know, they could use YouTubers, they can use Facebook, they can use Twitter to market, to do their market research. It's so easy these days. It doesn't take a brain surgeon. Yeah, all mono. Yeah. Springhill Jim, hi Jim. Why are you lashing out at Martin? I'm not, but I'm not lashing out at him. I like Martin, but he always comes in with a negative viewpoint. You know, is this a misstep? Is that a misstep? Did they do this wrong? Did they do that wrong? And kind of when it becomes a constant thing, it becomes a little bit wearing. I'm sure you understand that. So you know, I've got absolutely nothing against Martin, and he's welcome here all the time, as you are too. James Boyce, hi James. Hi Time. Flowers in the Dirt had its 36th anniversary yesterday. When it came out, I thought it was so good. Nowadays, it's a mixed bag. Do you think it would have been better if more Eric Clapton? Whenever I see EC, I almost automatically think of Eric Clapton. Elvis Costello songs were there. I don't know. I thought that the two that they hung over to Off the Ground were good songs. Were good songs, and maybe better than a couple that were on Flowers in the Dirt. Obviously, Elvis kept a few for his own albums. Spike had Veronica on it, and Mighty Like the Rose had So Like Candy, which is such a great song. So obviously some had to be kept for Elvis, but I still think Flowers is a really good album. I mean, the only track that I can't bear on that is Motor of Love. I even like Ue Le Soleil, but I think it's a good album. A really strong first side, I think, with My Brave Face, Rough Ride, which a lot of people don't like, but I really like it. I really like that loose feel that it's got, and there's great bass playing in that as well. You Want a Two is a good song as well, quite beatly. Distractions is a really good ballad, I think, and Put It There is a great song as well. And there are others on side two that are good, but I do think it kind of tapers away at the end with How Many People and Motor of Love, but I still think it's a good album. No, he's not. Stop sucking his cock. He's not brilliant. He's a fucking idiot. Any recommendations on mono cartridges to purchase? No, because I don't have one. Sorry, I don't. But there are people in the comments. Jim Hines and Cranberry Sauce have been talking about mono cartridges, so hopefully they can answer. Creek Alley says, "Hey Beatley Tone, long time viewer, thank you. First time commenter. Okay. I wanted to say that your opinion on what's your opinion on further Super Deluxe box sets and the status of Carnival of Light, specifically if a new anthology comes?" Okay, so I do think that they are still in the throes of they're still in the throes of rolling these out. I don't think that the project has stopped. There's just been things that they've wanted to put in between getting them out. personally, I think that getting out the remixed stereo albums with the, you know, with the sessions and everything, and the books in the box set, that should be their number one priority, and they should have just gone boom, 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 and got them all done. But you know, that it's not me that makes the decisions. So you know, they do as they see fit, and there's nothing we can do about it. As far as Carnival of Light goes, I know that Paul wanted to include it on an Anthology 2. George vetoed it. So I think that veto will still be in place, because I think Olivia will carry that vote forward for George. But I think, you know, people talk about this all the time. But what I mean, do we actually want to hear this? It's like 14 minutes of just noises and gibberish and all that sort of stuff. It's, you know, it sounds like a poor man's Revolution 9 to me. Do we really need it? I don't know. I mean, well, when I say we, I always say this to other people when they say, do we really need it? There is no collective we as far as Beatles fans goes. You know, some people want this, some people want that. You know, there is no collective we. But personally, if I don't ever hear Carnival of Light, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. I have Wednesday says, I got my pre-order for the mono box set as well. Thank you. You're welcome. Glad you got it. I am the only one slightly disappointed with the Sgt. Pepper's anniversary box, since it was still missing only a Northern song. So I'm slightly disappointed with the Sgt. Pepper missing only a Northern song. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we got that outtake on Anthology 2. They didn't include it. No, they didn't include it. So in the box, they just kept it to. Well, no, they actually didn't. They just kept it to the sessions at the time. Okay, where are we? Jeff says, I remember when CDs came out, you couldn't get rid of analog soon enough. You wanted CDs mastered DDD, not ADD. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I can remember the first DDD that I got was Brothers in Arms, Dire Straits, that album, which just sounded astonishing. It sounded astonishing at the time. I didn't sell my vinyl a lot of people sold off their vinyl to fund buying stuff on CD, but I never did. And I'm really glad now that I didn't. So I've still got all my old records, not just Beatles, all the other artists and stuff that I bought. But you're absolutely right. Okay. Andrew Brazier, it will have been very much a commercial decision to include Beatles songs on the new George Harrison. Yeah, they're not actually Beatles songs. Well, they are Beatles songs, but they're not Beatles versions. They're the ones from Concert for Bangladesh. I think maybe they don't. Maybe I don't know. I don't know the reason. I don't know the reason. It maybe it was commercial. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that sells it, to be honest. But like I said, I want to know about the Beatles and less about their families. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that fella's gone as well. Not you, Martin. Okay. Right, Spring Hill Jim has gone as well. Normally when he comes here, he behaves himself, but he's been an absolute twat today. Right, okay. It's such a shame, really, because he's only 21. He's only 21 or 22. There's time for him to grow a pair. Right, okay. where are we? Hi, Nick, Mermaid Tavern. Hello, Tone. Didn't know you were going live. Glad iTunes. What? Glad you tuned in. I like the title. The Jefferson Airplane used their best of the worst of. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm not a fan, but I didn't know that. But yeah, great title. Good to see you too, Nick. It says, I think compilation records are for the casual fan, so My Sweet Lord would have to be on there for the general public. Okay, that's an opinion. That's an opinion. We all have one, and that's okay. Andrew says, can anyone here genuinely hear a significant audio upgrade on the new Paul McCartney Japan SHM CD reissues? Well, I haven't bought these. Andrew, so I can't really comment, but I've got some SHM CDs, and I do think that they do sound a bit better than the original CDs. But for me, they need to sound a lot better to be double the price. So that's my opinion on them. And you know, I don't really need to buy these albums again. I've got them so many times in various formats. So you know, that's that. Craig Ellis has bought the monobox in 2014 and did not want to remotely order this one simply because I think those who missed out deserve it. More this should specifically be for buyers who missed out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you don't need one if you've got one already. The only people that need more than one are the people that want to sell it, and that's that. Tony says Beatles forever. Enjoying this this chat. Good. Nick says didn't know you were going live. I did send out. Well, I mentioned it on my last video, and I did put out a community tab. Good to be watching you. Best thing on telly this Friday evening. Thank you. Yeah. Well, Corey's on later, isn't it? John says, hi, Tony. Are you going to buy George Harrison's Let It Roll compilation album, which comes out? So, no, I'm not. I'm not going to buy it because, you know, I've got the CD. It's right here, actually. It's right here. I've got the CD, and you know, I don't really expect the vinyl to sound too much different to the CD, and it's, you know, spread over 2 LPs, and it's quite expensive. I just don't think I need it, so I'm not going to bother. I believe Macca would totally do something like what? The waitress thing. Yes. Well, I hope so. It's not like you can't afford it, is it? Hi, Tony. I saw that Facebook too. Didn't think it was legit, but who knows? Enjoy your pod chat. Keep rocking. Will do, Tony. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the channel. Always love the ambience on the Good Night Tonight single, and the promo video conveyed this perfectly. Yes, it did. It's great. Knowing Apple, each anthology will be changed to a 4 LP, the fourth containing more outtakes for each one, and will come out a year at a time. I don't think they will do that because I think that they will. I think that they will save the outtakes that they've got left for the box sets that are yet to come. I could see maybe they might include things from the box sets they've already done. In other words, you know, Revolver, Pepper, White Album, Abbey Road, Let It Be. They could, if they've got anything else left in the can, they might include them. But let's be honest, you know, they've had Anthology to put them out. They've had the box sets to put them out. What can be left that is worth anything? There's probably nothing for any of that from any of those albums that's worth putting out on Anthology as a fourth disc. So I don't think they will. And for the stuff from the earlier albums, the stuff that would be on Anthology 1 and Anthology 2, from Please Please Me to Rubber Soul, I think that they're going to be saving the best outtakes for the box sets. That's my opinion. Cranberry Sauce says, my unofficial Harrison LP set somewhere in Utopia features the original Got My Mind Set on You. No wonder George loved it. It's a great song. It is a good song. It is a good song. But I don't, I don't think it is. It's not amongst the best of George Harrison. Yeah, it was a big hit, but it's not even the best song on Cloud 9, is it? Toad, how are you feeling? Hope better. While since I checked in, yeah, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. I'm clear at the moment, and hopefully that will last. So yeah, I'm feeling really good. Thank you. Dave Jackson says, do West Ham want Michael Carrick as Borough sacked him? Tone. Well, I hear Andrew Postecoglou has also been sacked today. Even winning a trophy, first trophy in 17 years, isn't enough to save him. But I don't think Michael Carrick is going to be coming to West Ham. Maybe as a coach, I don't know. What do you consider Paul's last great album? What do I call? I would say really great album, probably Memory Almost Full, and if not that, Chaos and Creation. I think that New is a really good album as well, but I wouldn't say it was a great album. I think Egypt Station is not that great. And McCartney 3 is okay, but it's not great. It's not a great album. If we're talking great album, I think you need to put great in capitals to emphasize what you mean, because we say, oh, that's a great album, that's a great album, that's a great album, or all the time sometimes without thinking, is it great, or is it just very good, or is it just good, or whatever. Yes, I am. Nick, you put a curse on me. I ordered Zoetrope All Things Must Pass from Finland. It never arrived. Then ordered it from the US. It never made it. Happy now. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm looking at your avatar and you're laughing in that, thinking that you're laughing at this, but you did put ha 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 at the end. But that's terrible. This is from eBay, is it, or Discogs or something? You should be able to get your money back, no? If you write to eBay or Discogs or wherever it is you got it from. That's really weird though, isn't it? Because that's a lot of money. Mike said, do you think it's true that George gave out Paul's number on Miss Hotel? No, I don't. Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but because it wasn't a London number, was it? Or do you think? I doubt he had his number for the farm in Scotland or anywhere else. I think that's nonsense. No, it's total nonsense. George said it was rubbish, and Paul quoted him on it. Olivia's told for that gullible people to believe, and they did. I do love stories like that. Okay, from a 27-year-old acid head myself, Carnival of Light specifically to me sounds like an adult fun adventure with a bright outlook and maybe a fun blip on the Beatles' history. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just a bit of avant-garde nonsense. Avant-garde a clue, as George says. The other two songs they did are great. Not sure which ones you're talking about there, Martin. Boyan from Melbourne, Australia. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Hey, Tone, very, very late to the party. I've been sleeping. What are you thinking of? Work early. But we're really looking forward to watching this back. Hope you're enjoying it. My UK father, yes, I am, son. And I will speak to you soon. Have a good day at work. Andrew says, maybe in the minority here, but I've always liked Motor of Love, a lot of Flowers in the Dirt. Yeah, I think, some people do. My missus likes it, but I'm not a fan. Hi, Tone. Hope you are well. Hi, Kia. I'm just stopping by for 10-15 minutes. What is this thing in life that persuades me to spend more time away from you? Ha, 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 ha. I don't know. But spend more time with me. Thank you for quoting Mr. McCartney there. Rage says, hi, I hope all is well. Yes, it is. Thank you. Martin, I don't think you have to justify your kids, what you do with your kids in public. Just ignore. If there's anything else from him, I will delete him. But you know, it could even be you, couldn't it? Or Jim, or the other twat. But anyway, Tone, any differences, if you know, between the original mono box and this upcoming one? It seems to me this is a pull off the shelf and make some more kind of thing. Yeah, I think it is. I don't think there's going to be any differences between it at all. I think it will be just as it was. Jeff says, everyone thumbs up Tone stream. Yes, thumbs up. I've never really had the nerve to say this in any of my videos, but I don't mind saying it on a live stream. That generally only 10% of people that watch a video, and I'm not just talking about mine, because I watch lots of different channels, but generally only 10% of people that watch a video give it a like, which is a real shame, because people that make videos go to a lot of effort. You know what I mean? It's a bit strange. Okay. Rob, thank you so much. That is really, really kind of you. I'm working at the moment, so can't stay long, but I wanted to show my appreciation for your channel. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. That's really kind of you. Thank you. John, I have all my vinyl records from when I was a teenager, and they are all in very good condition, I'm pleased to say. Yeah, I've been quite surprised how good my records are, the condition that they're in. And not all of them, obviously, not all of them, but when I was a teenager and bought a lot of these records that I've got. I didn't really care for them. I never cleaned them or anything. And, I used to play a record and just leave it on the turntable and go off to school or whatever it was. And, never really looked after my records. But coming back to them now, I sort of got back into vinyl in 2020 and, kind of rediscovered all these albums that I hadn't played, all these records that I hadn't played for ages, because I've been playing CDs, and I've been quite surprised. I had a Bush Music Centre. I don't know if you remember them. That's what I had in my room. What I used to play my stuff on. My dad had a Panasonic Music Centre downstairs, and when they weren't in, I used to play records on that, which sounded a lot better. So they've been through the mill a bit. My records being played on a crappy stereo and left out on the turntables to gather dust. Yeah, exactly. I don't think he is, because I don't think Matt would stoop to that level. But I don't believe that was Michael Nolan either. But there you go. But yeah, so many Burks around. Yeah, you'd think that they would have something better to do with their time, but clearly they don't. I mean, that other idiot has been doing his stuff for 8 years or something like that anyway, and no one cares. Andrew says, Brothers in Arms, Dire Straits was also my first CD, $14.99 from Mum's Case. I remember Case catalogue, $1.50 a week for 10 weeks. God, God. Yeah, they were really high interest, weren't they? Those catalogs. I don't know if they still exist. Do they still exist? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't my first CD. It wasn't my first CD, but it was the first one that was a DDD. You know, they had AAD and ADD, and then DDD, where DDD was when the whole process was digital, recorded in digital, mixed in digital, and mastered in digital. And the others were various stages of analog and digital. So I did have CDs, that were AAD or ADD, but Dire Straits was the first DDD that I had. Ken says, do you think the 4 new films will be a success? I have doubts. I don't know. I haven't really got an opinion on it because I don't really like biopics. I'm not really that interested in them, to be absolutely honest. I mean, I probably will go and see them, but, I don't really care whether they're good or not, really. I'm just not that interested, to be honest. John says, hi, Tone. After watching your video, I got onto the Beatles site, placed my order and got a copy thanks to you. All the best from sunny Glasgow. Is it really sunny in Glasgow today? Is it? Make a change, but I'm really pleased, John. As I say, I've said it a few times, just so pleased. So many people from this channel managed to get it after watching that video, and that makes me very happy. Really good, really good. Andrew says, 6 months later, I've saved for a Yamaha CD player to play the Brothers. Then, okay. I had a Denon, was my first one, was a Denon. I've got a Name CD player now. And that is the end of the road for me as far as buying CD players. I won't buy another one unless this one goes horribly wrong. But Yamaha were good back in the day for sure. I bought the Denon that I bought because they were quite expensive, weren't they? And I bought mine in 1987, and I had a mortgage by then, and my son had just been born, and so money was tight. But I just really wanted to become part of the CD revolution, and so I bought. I bought. Do you remember when separates were MIDI sized as well as being like full size? So all the rest of my hi-fi was like full size, but I bought a MIDI CD player because it was cheaper than the full size one, so it looked really weird on my rack sort of thing. Dino V's here. Hi Dino, I haven't heard from you for a long time. Hi Tone, great to see you alive and kicking. Tell me what 3 things you still need in your fab collection. Well, there's not that much really. There's not much that I need. I don't think. I haven't really got much that I'm not looking out for stuff at the moment. I'm just not. I did buy something last week that I am going to be doing a video on this week, and but it wasn't it wasn't a necessity. It was just something that I fancied. So I'm not going to give it away because I'm going to be doing a video on it next week. But I don't think there is that much that I'm that bothered about. You know what I would like to get? I would like to get one of those shop displays, record shop displays, like cardboard cutout for one of Paul's or George's or even the Beatles. The things they used to have in record store. I'd like to get one of those. And they're really expensive though, and they're quite hard to find, and they're mostly if you look on eBay for them, mostly in America, and there's like huge shipping costs to get it here and all the rest of it. So I haven't taken the plunge, but that's something that I would quite like. But I don't need it, but just something for the room, I suppose. But that's something that I would quite like. I'm sorry, this is a really rubbish answer to your question, isn't it? But there just isn't that much that I'm hankering after, to be honest. Maybe an original pressing, or not. It doesn't even have to be a first pressing, but a pressing. It has to be on Apple of maybe Two Virgins or Life with the Lions. You know, I'd never play them, but you know, they're two things that I don't have those on vinyl on an Apple. I know you can easily get them on the secret Canadian label, but that's not the point. You know, I'd only want them if they were on Apple. Life with the Lions on Zapple to be actually perfectly accurate. Okay, Andrew says, thank you, Tone. That's my concern with these CDs, SHM CDs as well. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a difference to be heard on them, but it's not massive. It's not massive. And, you know, if you're paying double the price, it's got to be massive. Creek Alley says, but the thing about it is, Please Please Me won't have much of an outtake. No, it won't. It won't. But does that, I mean, the thing with these box sets that I look forward to most is the remix. That's what I because I will go, you know, if the remix is good, I will go back to that time and time again, and in most cases it will become my go-to version of an album. Whereas outtakes, they're nice to have, but I don't go back to them very often. Yeah, because outtakes just basically songs going wrong or songs in their infancy, and they're not as good as the final version. So, you know, I've never really been a big bootleg bloke. So you know, I don't really get many bootlegs. So yeah, that's my thought. So, you know, if they've got stuff, then they've got stuff. If they haven't, they haven't. But you know, I'd be absolutely perfectly okay if they started doubling up on these box sets. So, you know, they made a 1963 box that you got a remix of Please Please Me with the Beatles, and then whatever outtakes they've got for those two albums, that would be absolutely fine. And they could do the same for 64 with Hard Day's Night and Beatles for Sale, and they could do the same for 65 with Help and Rubber Soul. It's absolutely fine. I just like them to get them done, really. Cranberry Sauce says, I agree with you, Tone, on George's cover. Got my mind set on you. I prefer the original. And he says, I hadn't heard the original, so I heard it as a hidden track on Somewhere in Utopia. Did you see Beatles 64? Because on Beatles 64, when they turn on the radio in their hotel room, it's playing on the radio. Julia's here. Drop by, say hello. It's 2 p.m. here. Hi, Julia. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're okay. Good to see you here. James says, I could make Egypt Station great. Is that a new version of MAGA? I can make Egypt Station great because there are so many good songs that were left off. Math is really strong. The mastering is bad, of course. Yeah, on the CD, it's all right on the LP though. It's okay on the LP. Yeah, I think those outtakes are good. I love Frank Sinatra's Party. I think Get Started is good. I'm not sure about any of the others, but because some of the others are live versions of the songs, aren't they? That are on the album. But I think that there's 3 or 4 on the, is it called the Explorers Edition? That's got that takes it to a 3 LP set. I think those songs are okay. Yeah, Frank Sinatra's Party is great, good, nice bit of ska, and Get Started is good. 62nd Street is okay. I'm not sure if it's better than much that's on Egypt Station, apart from Come On To Me and Far You, and what's that other one that's really horrible? I can't remember. But anyway. Rob says, one of my friends is George Pecker, who worked at Apple, and I told him about your YouTube channel, and he said, thank you so much for talking about the Beatles as he loved. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. I don't know George Pecker. He worked at Apple. Okay, well, that's great. Well, thank you for George Peckham. I've seen it now. George Peckham. Okay. Yeah, well, thanks very much, Rob. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Crab Resources, how do we know, Tone, it's not obsessive compulsive? he has still not listened to the entire electronic music, but maybe someday. No, I haven't. I say I made it about halfway through side one, and that was it for me. That was it for me. But I have listened to the entire Mind Games meditation mixes all the way through. But yeah, electronic sound is a bit of an ask, I think. Rob says, yes, brilliant stream, Tone. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you. And John is concurring. Thank you, John. Ian says, I had a Bush Music Centre, bought from Curry's on the Never Never, and everything sounded great. You know, I didn't even buy mine. So my dad used to have a TV shop, and people used to bring all sorts of electronics in there to see whether he wanted to buy them. And someone brought in a Bush Music Centre, and he said, I know someone who would like that. So he bought it off him. So not only did I have a Bush Music Centre, I had a second-hand Bush Music Centre. I mean, it's quite appropriate that it was called Bush because it sounded absolute gash. Right. Okay. Right. Lynn says, Brothers in Arms was my first CD also. And you know, it's such a big seller. I think it's probably a lot of people's entry into CD. Most biopic make me cringe. They make me cringe as well, Lynn. But I'll probably watch them. Yeah, I will watch them. But you know, I'm not that fussed. I'm not that fussed. The Brian Epstein one was awful, I thought. Sorry. Ken, thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Thanks very much. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Lynn says, my second CD player was a Denon. Okay. The first one I bought was a portable, and motor went shortly after. Was it one of those like Sony Discmans, you know, so they were only like about CD, just over CD size, and you just took them on the train or whatever. Was it one of those, or was it like a you know, like a ghetto blaster type thing with a CD drive in it? Right. Okay. Where are we? How far behind am I? I'm not that far. I'm only 10 minutes behind. Okay. Hi, Tony. You changed your name. Oh, no. I'm thinking of David. Are you related? Because it's an unusual surname. Maybe it's not even the same. I don't know. Apple not being happy about people not being able to buy the mono box set for reason translates to Apple wants a piece of the action. Well, yeah. I mean, that let's be honest, that is their business, right? That their business is to sell records. So why shouldn't they? They're the ones that hold, you know, all the licensing and do all the work. All these other people do is just buy them and then sell them. So, you know, they're entitled to a piece of the action. But, you know, James says, Sony was my first CD player and Yamaha was my second, and my latest is Roxanne. It's good make. I used to have a Roxanne amp, but I sold it about a year or so ago. And I think it will see me out. They're really, really good. I haven't heard a Roxanne CD player, but I've heard that they are really good. And I had a Roxanne Caspian 2, I think it was the amp that I had, which is a really, really good amp. Nick says to Dino V's question that Tone needs the almost things must pass Zoe trope. I really don't. Lynn says, in 1985, I bought a full Denon stereo setup, including turntable, tape deck, CD player, etc. With Sony headphones that I still have, and I'm wearing them at this moment. That is amazing. That is amazing. In 1985, so they're like 40 years old. That is fantastic. Great story, Lynn. Tone, do you have a German Horzu vinyl stereo 33 vinyl pressing? Please me. No, I don't. So I don't I don't really have to have. I don't have to have all pressings and you know, of the same album. I don't have, you know, I've got albums that I've got more than one copy of, but usually if I've got another copy of an album, it's because it's been remastered or remixed, or it's got bonus tracks on it, or whatever the reason might be. If it offers me something different, then I will buy an album again. If it's on coloured vinyl, for example, that's when I you know, buy an album that I've already got again. You know, I did try Zoe Tropes with electronic sound and wonderful music, and you know, I've tried it once, didn't like it, as they say on Carry On Abroad. So I won't be getting any more of those. But so you know, so I'm not you know, I'll call myself more of a fan than a collector. To be honest, I don't go and try and buy copies of albums from all different countries and stuff like that. That's just not what I do. Music Soundgate says, hi Jeff, again, some of the early versions are better in my opinion. Dar early acoustic version is fantastic. Okay. Oh, you're talking about outtakes. Okay. Yeah. I think some of them are great, and you know, some of them are, you know, are not so great. Yeah, I actually the Obladi Bladar, that's the one with it's got the sax on it, hasn't it? That's that one. Yeah, that is a good version. They're definitely good. It's just like, you know, I don't often think, oh, I'll go and listen to the outtakes from Revolver or something. Very often, I do sometimes. You know, I've been through the whole Sgt. Pepper box this week. Did the whole lot in one sitting. But I don't often think about going back to outtakes. I more go to, you know, I'll listen to this album or listen to that album. That was the point I was making. Primary Source says, thanks to the Beatles 64 reference on Got My Mind Set on You. I'd forgotten about that radio clip. That's okay. Charlie says, and a lovely evening to all of you here. Hi, Charlie. Welcome. Martin says, which do you prefer, Tone? Hi, or Sea Moon? I'm a Sea Moon guy myself. I'm a hi guy myself. That was an easy one. Charlie says, I'm still using my Kenwood stereo stack amp. The CD player went years ago. The tapes are knackered. The radio could work, but the amp is what I'm listening to it to right now. Okay, it's great. People have still got hi-fi gear. Seems to last for years. I've kind of got to the end of my hi-fi journey now, I think, because, you know, to buy anything better than what I've already got, you know, I just have to spend thousands of pounds, and I haven't got thousands of pounds to spend. So, you know, the system that I've got costs thousands of pounds, but you know, it's been a gradual build-up of, you know, buying something and, you know, selling it to get something a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And I think now that, you know, I've kind of reached that point where, you know, I would have to spend a lot of money to get anything better than what I've already got. So that's the end of the road for me. And someone asked me, I think it was Ralph Acton, I think, asked me to do a video on my hi-fi gear. And I haven't done it yet, but I keep kind of remembering about it, but other things kind of get in the way, and I'm not really sure how much general interest a video like that would have. But it's kind of it's written on my pad from when, you know, people have suggested various videos to do. Tom's here. Hi, Tom. How you doing? Great stream, Tone. Thanks very much, Tom. Hope you're okay. I expect you're at work. Charlie says, oh, same thing. It's a repeat. I'm sorry if you're if people are repeating posts because you think that I've missed them, or because I haven't got to them yet. It's more because I haven't got to them yet. I'm currently running. Let me just check. I'm currently running where I'm up to now 7:24. It's 7:32 now. So yeah, I'm not far behind. I'm not far behind. So you don't need to double your message. I will get to your message. It's just take. I probably talk too much, don't I? Probably talk too much. Right, where was I? We've just done Tom. We've done Charlie. Okay. D. Perez says, remember about 10 years ago, there was a digital release of 1963 and 1964, I believe, outtakes by Apple due to the possibility of losing the copyright. Yeah, was that the thing that they put on iTunes? Is that you were talking about? I think the songs were only available for a week, and were these re-released? Not that I know of. I haven't got them anyway. I haven't got them. Lynn says it was one of those round portable ones. Yeah, yeah, I had one of those. Mine didn't last very long. Mine didn't last very long either. Andrew Brazier says the early Bush Music Centre weren't that bad, weren't they? Weren't they? Well, because I wasn't really into hi-fi at that time, but I was just comparing it with my dad's Panasonic Music Centre that he had downstairs, and that was much better. It was much better. But there you go. There you go. And it says, Charlie, I used to sell audio systems, those Kenwood trio stacks. Charlie says, sorry, my Kenwood was a hire bought in 1989. Forgot to say, 36 years of music and others. Great stuff. Great stuff. And Andrew's saying that about the Kenwood stacks were really nice sounding. Ken says, have the originals ADD Beatles CDs in black roll top wooden. The bread box, the thing they call the bread box. Oh yeah, that's quite a cool thing. I haven't got one of those. But I've still got all the CDs that came out in '87 and '88. The German Die Beatles is considered by many to be the best sounding pressing of the Please Please Me album. Yeah, I've heard that. I'm happy to have bought it years before I knew this. Oh, great! That's great. That's great. No, I haven't got. I haven't got one. It's the outtakes that I go straight to now. I know every Beatles song on each album off by heart, as we all do. So I get more pleasure from the outtakes and the mic chats and demos. Yeah, I get that. I just really because the whole thing about where they are now in the project on as far as the stereo remixes is eliminating that panning. That's what I want to see. I want to see, I don't want vocals on one side and instruments on the other. I want vocals in the middle. I want drums in the middle, and then the other instruments, wherever they sit, on the sound stage. But yeah, no, I understand that people were really interested in the outtakes, and you say you go straight to them, and we all play them as soon as these box sets drop. But do you go back to them a lot, more than you would the actual album? Be interested to know that, Charlie. I'm just going to take a quick drink. Hang on. Martin says, reading some Beatles book, you start to take in the author's opinion. Revolution in the Head says, how bad a song or all you need is love is. I was young when I read it, and you begin to wonder. Yeah, I mean, he is quite negative in that book. I do have it. Bought it in the 80s or 90s, I think, whenever it came out, can't remember. But yeah, it's quite a good book. I quite like it because it's very musically detailed. I quite like that book, but I don't necessarily agree with his opinions on the songs. He seems to like the early stuff better than he likes the later stuff, for sure. whereas I'm the complete opposite. You then realise what a load of rubbish that is. Yeah. Granbury Source. Coincidentally, the 63 Beatles outtakes were available on Apple Music as opposed to the record company. Yeah, it was Apple Music, was it? Okay. So it's quite recent then. Charles says, so my Stat Hi-Fi is a Sanyo DC30 I bought back in 1978 and still using it today. Blimey. It's time for an upgrade, Charles. I think it was called Apple iTunes, right? Okay. They weren't removing posts from the chat when I realised I'd made a mistake. Maybe I need to refresh. Okay. Xavier says, Javier, is it pronounced Javier? Hi, Tone. Do you have some news about Andrew Dixon? Hope he's doing well. Thoughts from France? No, I don't. I did message him a little while ago, but I didn't like to ask why he why he's disappeared from YouTube. He's obviously got stuff going on that's more important than making videos. But I hope we see him back on YouTube soon. He's a great guy, Andrew. Great guy. Jonathan Robertson says, Tony, I'm thinking about starting a Beatles fan channel. Any advice? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would basically kind of get an idea about what your channel is going to be, whether you're going to limit it to certain things, whether it be, just about the Beatles, or you're going to cover solo Beatles as well, or just solo Beatles, or a solo Beatle, or whatever. And just talk about things that you've got a passion for. That's the main thing. The main thing is being, tackling it with enthusiasm, and if you've got things to say, then people will come. People will come, and they will watch you, and you'll have a great time doing it. I started this channel about 3.5 years ago, and the reason that I started it is, firstly, I thought it might be something that I used to watch people like Andrew Dixon and Joe Mayo, and I used to watch them and think, I think I'd quite like to do it. And I was thinking it's something that I might like to do when I retire. But so I just did a video, and it kind of, I wouldn't say it took off, but quite a few people. The video is absolutely terrible. No, I can't watch it back. It's awful. But a few people watched, a few people subscribed, and it takes off from there. But so it was something that I thought I might do when I retired, but because it started getting a bit of momentum, you can't just start something and then stop and think, okay, well I'll pick this up again in 2 years when I retire. So I didn't. I just kept it going. What I will tell you is that it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, and my missus says you put in more hours on your channel than you used to when you worked full time. But I don't think I do. But it is a lot of work. So you be prepared for that. I would say that always answer if people leave you a comment when you post a video, then always answer, because it shows engagement with people and make them feel part of your channel. So let me know if you start a channel, and I'll certainly subscribe. So let me know, Jonathan. Good luck with it. Of all the biggest bands in rock and roll history, I find the only Beatles ones that can pull off sustaining more than a mild interest in their outtakes. Someone like the Stones, one listen maybe. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, I do listen to them. I do listen to the outtakes more than once. I just don't listen to them as often as I would listen to the regular album. But yeah, have I bought any? I did buy the Police box set of Synchronicity, which has got a lot of unreleased material on it. But like you say, it's one and done, isn't it? One listen and you're done. I think, but generally I don't buy outtakes from other artists. Or do I? I'm just trying to think now. I'm just trying to think. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Right. Okay. Where am I? Ken is saying on hi-fi, it's only as good as the weakest link. A balanced system is enough. Yes, it is. It is. Well, yeah. No, it depends. It depends what the weakest link is. If the weakest link is, say, your turntable, for example, then that doesn't affect your CD playing or your streaming or anything like that. Because they're all going through the same amp, or as far as streaming goes through the same DAC, and if your speakers are rubbish, then everything would sound rubbish. But if your weakest link, I suppose, is your speakers, then most stuff will sound not great. But if you've only got one component that is weaker than the other, they're all going for, I would say that your hi-fi is probably only as good as your amp and your speakers, and the rest of it is periphery, I suppose. That's my opinion anyway. I'm not like a hi-fi expert, but that's what I think. I've been treated worse than Yoko Ono session in your chat tonight. Not by me, you haven't, mate. Not by me, you haven't. Charlie says, I laugh every single time I hear John say in that silly voice on the early takeoff. Oh, for the benefit of Mr. Kite. Yeah, for the benefit of Mr. Kite. Yeah, I know what you mean. Jeff says, I bought that Apple iTunes copyright dump that the Beatles released when it came out. I haven't listened to it for years. Richard the Music Maniac says, I can't wait for Paul's tour this year. I hope he comes to Pittsburgh. Okay. Waiting for his announcement of a tour, if there is to be one. Panasonic were a budget brand of Technics, hence why they sounded so good for their price. John says, I'm off now, Tone. Thanks for brilliant live stream. Glad I was free to listen to it. So was I, John. I seem to choose a time when you're at work. So I'm glad you're able to make it this time. Thanks for being part of it. Jeff says that copyright dump is called The Beatles Bootleg Recordings, 59 songs, and was released on December 17th, 2013. I'm looking at it in my Apple Music library. Okay, that's good information, Jeff. Good information. That must have just totally passed me by in 2013. Yes, he is. Yes. Andrew is still posting on X, and I wish him well too. Charles says, "Good point, time." Well, when I said time for an upgrade, I'm sure you could swing it. Charlie says, it still seems to me after McCartney's single box set that many haven't spoken about or even realised about the remix songs, e.g. Only Love Remains, Hope for Future, Hope for Press to Play Archive. Yeah, the remix that was on the 12-inch single you're talking about, that the remix of because all the singles from Press to Play had a remix on a 12-inch press. Only Love Remains and Pretty Little Head, and all the remixes are all better than the versions that ended up on the album. I'd really like to see a Press to Play archive. because it could be great. It could be really great. Richard says Wings are my favourite band, the Jackson 5, and my second favourite. Sorry about my mother talking. Sorry about my dogs playing it. For God's sake. Thought on Spurs sacking their manager, Tone. Deserved it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. He brought him a trophy, first trophy in 17 years, and he gets the boot. Why didn't they sack him earlier in the season? Crazy stuff. I don't care. I don't care about Spurs. But there you go. Yeah, bit of a weird timing though, don't you reckon? What do you reckon, Martin? Tim says, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I have the ability to correct you if you're wrong, but I don't believe there's ever been a reissue of the Capitol Rarities album. Right, okay, yeah. It's been the 45th anniversary of its release. Do you think there'll ever be a reissue or remaster? I don't know. People, clamoring for it. I don't know, because the Capitol version was much better than the UK version that we got, which was basically the UK version was just like a precursor to Past Masters. It had all the B-sides on it, which when you see how many singles that they sold, and therefore how many B-sides they sold, they're not exactly rarities, but they were just non-album tracks. But the Capitol one was much better and did have a few rarities on it, like the Penny Lane with the flourish of piccolo trumpet at the end, which is also on the Sgt. Pepper box. I would say that I probably don't think it will be, and I think you're right in saying that it hasn't been in the past. Rob says, Tom, what is your favourite? Excuse me, hang on a sec. Throat's getting dry. Okay, right. Rob says, Tone, what is your favourite Beatles album and why? Okay, so my favourite Beatles album is the White Album. And the reason why is that it is just such an eclectic mix of so many different types of songs. There's just nothing like it. There's just nothing like it in pop music, I don't think. And, I accept that the 30 songs on that album are not the 30 best songs that the Beatles ever did, but I just love how it flows, and I love just all the different genres, and there are just so many top-notch songs on that album, and some very underrated ones as well. So that's the reason. Is that okay? Is that okay? Oh, thank you so much. Sorry, I don't know your name, but cheers from New York, mate. A small token of appreciation. Great stream, great channel. Thank you so much for that. Very kind of you, and very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. Gravital says, Richard Music Mania, apologies for pictures of Tony Perkins in a rocking chair. Hitchcock. Oh God. Okay. Where are we? Press to play archive along with Return to Pepperland sessions in one box set. It could be a 4 CD set between 85 and 87. He recorded loads of stuff. Yeah, he did all that sort of Phil Ramone stuff. So yeah, it could be really good, and I'd like to hear outtakes from the sessions as well. And it'd be interesting to hear, some of that stuff without all the sort of the 80s production gimmicks on it and stuff like that. Yeah. I just really hope that we get a press to play one. I want press to play more than I want London Town or Back to the Egg, to be honest. But I'll settle for anything. Charlie says, Giles' remix of Savoy Truffle played very loud, absolutely kicks bottoms. It kicks bottoms. It does indeed. It's great. It is great. Okay, I think we've completely caught up. We've completely caught up. I think we've come to the end of the line. So thanks everyone who has been messaging in the gallery there and keeping this chat going. Thank you for your support of the channel. Oh, hang on, Dave's here. If not mentioned already, Beatleverse announcement next week. Sorry, I just joined. Okay, let's wait for that and see what that is. You can tell me. You can just whisper. Thanks very much, David. Oh, the comment. Just as I was about to wrap it up. Now you're all commenting. Okay, right. Jonathan says, thanks so much for the advice, Tom. Really appreciate it. I'd love to get it going, but given what you've been cut off in mid sentence. Thanks and have a lovely night. You too, Charlie. Nick says you're a brilliant. Oh, thank you. That's nice. Very nice of you to say. MBT, thanks very much, Nick, for being here. Phil says I recently acquired a Russian album, Taste of Honey, most early tracks from Please Please Me, etc. in stereo. What amazed was the great sound quality. Interesting. MBT says see you soon. Yeah, see you soon, babe. David's laughing. Martin McGrath saying, have you listened to Paul's 1986 Q interview? I haven't listened to it. I actually have that copy. It was the very first issue of Q, Martin, where he did that interview on Press to Play. I think was the current album. It's issue 1 of Q, and I have got that somewhere. But I have to admit, I probably haven't read it since 1986. But there you go. Andrew says, I'm playing the White Album and an Isha outtake CD at present. Good. Hope you're enjoying them. They're great. Lynn says, great show. I saw something somewhere claiming Paul won't tour again until 2026. You know, we'll have to wait and see. I can't be speculating about these things. And, you know, when we know, we know. And that's it. So whether he tours this year or he tours next year, it's great. And, you know, it's great that he's still able to do it. And, you know, I'll certainly go and see him if he comes down my neck of the woods. So we'll wait and see. There's always rumours here and rumours there, Lynn. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's just what actually transpires that counts, and only that, really. Jonathan's having a second go. Thanks very much for the advice, Dan. Hopefully I can get balance a full-time job and 2 young kids enough to get some time to make a go of it. I'll send you my first video. Yeah, well, you know, you don't have to do, you know, you can do sort of, you know, 1 video a week, but it is important to keep content coming, because, you know, if you don't post a video for a while, you know, only your loyalist followers will stick with you. But then they'll move on to something else. But yeah, you can. It's not easy. Full-time job and 2 young kids. Just the 2 young kids bit is probably harder than the full-time job. But good luck with it, Jonathan. Charlie says, I want Danny and gang to remix George's Dark Horse album. Yeah, I think that is on the cards. I think that the concert for Bangladesh is going to be the next thing out of the Harrison stable, and I think the George Dark Horse album is going to be the next thing after that. Hope so anyway, because I love the Dark Horse album. Mummy Tevin says, good one, Tone. Have a great evening. Agree with you about the White Album. Even one, it does. I love Wild Honey Pie because it's just bonkers, isn't it? It's just bonkers, and that's what I love about it, and it's great. Lynn says it was in connection with the announcement of the Ringo touring dates this year. Okay. So we don't ever get Ringo here. He never comes to the UK to play live. which is a real shame. Cranberry Sauce says, really enjoyed your live broadcast today, Tone. Thanks very much for your consistently wonderful videos and thoughtful insights. Thank you so much, Cranberry Sauce. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your contributions. Charlie saying, Pink Floyd outtakes, the only other outtakes I'm interested in. Okay. I'm not that bothered about Pink Floyd. I mean, I've got quite a lot of, Pink Floyd albums, but I'm not interested in stuff that didn't make their albums. Charles says, great show. Tone, good night, mate. Good night to you, Charles. All the best. Thank you for being here. Bye, Martin. Thank you for your contributions as well. And apologies if I was a bit harsh on you on the very first comment, but you know you're always welcome here, on the videos as well. Okay, so thanks very much, Martin, for your contributions. Nick says Ringo played live last December. You were there. Yes, I know, but he never comes. He never does a tour. He never does a tour. He never does an all-star band thing in the UK, or he hasn't for, I think, since about 2011 or something like that. And I was too foolish to go and see him the last time that he was here. Which maybe why he doesn't come anymore. Maybe too many people thought like me and thought I'm not going to bother. Yeah, he doesn't come here anymore. David says WA is my favourite as well. White Album is my favourite as well. Such various songs and troves of outtakes. I may see it at Chicago Fest, my first ever. Mine too. I hope so, David, and it'd be great to meet you. Charlie says every song on the White Album is as important as an ingredient in a fine cake. Yeah, absolutely. Bye, Tone. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, you too. And thanks again very, very much. Right, I'm going to wrap it up now. We're just about on 2 hours, almost on 2 hours. So thank you, everyone who's been here joining the live stream. Whether you've contributed in the comments or you've just been watching from a distance, thanks very much for being part of this live stream. Well, I really couldn't do it without you, to be fair. I couldn't do it without you. So thanks for being here and keeping the chat going. And I'll see you all very soon. There'll be some more stuff for me coming on the channel this week. And I'll try and do another live stream in maybe a month. I don't like to do them too often. You should probably get fed up with seeing me. Okay, so I will see you all very soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.